Are you someone who rushes headlong into a situation without regard for the consequence? Or are you somebody who looks before they leaps? Hi, I'm Chris Henwood with North Point Bank, and welcome to the Henwood Edge. Today we're going to talk about risk versus reward. This is a subject that's near and dear to my heart, and one that I've really learned and evolved over the course of my career. And I guess the best way to tell the story and kind of illustrate what I'm talking about is kind of take you back a little bit of my personal history when it comes to my professional history. So this is a photograph of me, the crazy guy making the funny face with his hand up trying to buy something across the pit. For 20 some odd years, I was an energy trader down on the floor of the New York Mercantile Exchange. As a trader very early on, we learned the concept of risk reward. It was one that was always very important. Is the trade you're going to enter into, is the risk that you incur by virtue of that trade worth the reward of what you're trying to get out of it? And that's something that you have to develop very early in this business to stay alive and be successful. So that concept of always assessing the trades on an ongoing basis on how much risk exposure you have versus the target goals for those trades, you're always doing an evaluation, and it kind of wires your brain to do so. So that's actually one of my favorite pictures from that time, and it's one that's kind of formed that sort of an analysis that's existed in my head. Next photo this is from my days when I worked at Reuters News Service as a market specialist. My area of expertise was commodities and energy. And in this role, I was always presenting to the audience, which was an international audience of Reuters News Service, the risks and rewards of a viewpoint in the marketplace. I was called on to offer my opinion on the direction of all sorts of things and what was going on in the marketplace. And to do so, you really had to take a look at the pros, the cons, the risks, the rewards, and effectively communicate that to the audience. So I believe that this phase of my career really kind of solidified my ability to express that across to the people that I was trying to get my message to. And then finally, I figured everyone would get a kick out of this photograph. This is from my law school graduation. Now in law school, they take a little bit different approach to the risk-reward situation, but it's essentially the same. So what you have to do in law school is you always have to look at an issue or a topic from not only the position that you're advocating for, but from the position that the opposition side will advocate against. So you're always having to anticipate, what you think about this topic versus what your opponent's going to say about the same exact topic. So it really forces you to take a much more thorough and complete look at any issue in order to be able to anticipate all of those aspects and be able to identify all the elements within the decision-making process. So we can all very easily fall into a trap of advocating for our own position. You can rationalize almost anything to ourselves. Yes, I want to buy this because it'll make me happy. The cost doesn't really matter. I'll find a way to make the money. But if we're really honest with ourselves, we take a look at all sides of the equation. What could go wrong? What's the downside to this? What might not work out the way I think it will? So these are all important considerations, and one that really kind of law school helped me to really fully flesh out how I look at issues. And I think you can do that as well, as long as you're taking an honest look at any issue that you're faced in your life, whether it be buying a house, making a big life decision, moving, taking a new job, all those things that we really have to face in life, and you can benefit from by really doing a thorough risk-reward analysis on. And the final picture I have up here, which is much better than the one before, is a picture of my family. This was taken at a recent wedding that we attended, and what I've been able to do, and the reason I have this up here, is that as much as in business, this sort of an analysis, the risk-reward, being able to make decisions and really look at an issue from all sides, it's something that I've really drummed into my kids from an early age. As you can see, they're not little anymore. They're all bigger than I am. So I really kind of hammered that on them over and over again when they're making decisions through life about doing a risk-reward analysis. And I can tell you firsthand, it's very rewarding when I hear it come back and they say, well, I was looking at this situation and the pluses and minuses, and the risk-reward was, or I really think this makes sense because of that, and even though I know that there's a downside here. So all of those sorts of things, really as a parent, were very gratifying to see how I was able to kind of communicate and translate my concept of risk-reward and see it passed on to my children and how they've incorporated it moving forward. I hope they're not upset about me posting that picture. But the theme we have through all these videos is that there's no such thing as one size fits all. Everyone's risk tolerances are different. Everyone's reward goals are different. What's right for me might not be right for you, or different. So you have to take that into consideration. Really try to think about what your tolerance for risk is in any situation, whether it be buying a house, how much house you're buying, or whether to take that other job in another city to move your family. All of those things go into play, but they really are very personal. So the risk reward analysis that you do in your situation, in your life, is going to be different than the one that I do or anybody else. So there's, again, no such thing as one size fits all. Everyone's unique, everyone's different, and I really hope that you found this video helpful, and maybe you'll incorporate a little risk reward analysis in your life moving forward. That's all for today. Thank you for watching the Henwood Edge. We'll see you next time.
This is not a commitment to lend. All loans are subject to credit review and approval. Not all loan programs are available in all states. Contact a North Point Bank loan officer for further details.